Hi, 1 Hour Smart Home here, and today we're going to show you how to replace an outlet so that you can update it or upgrade it with a new outlet or receptacle. So what we've got here is an older receptacle. It just makes the house look dated. And if you notice when you go into a remodeled home or a nice looking home, they usually have these new outlets, and even the screwless cover plates make a huge difference. So in order to do this, the first thing that we need to do is turn the power off at the circuit breaker to this outlet. So what you want to do is plug something in that you know runs and will run and see that it's powered up, and then go down to the circuit breaker and turn the power off so that that device is no longer powered up. Then turn off that circuit breaker and you know everything is good. Now, another way to check to make sure the power is off is with a non-contact voltage meter. So we've got one right here, and we can just push it in there and we can see that we're not getting any reading. So the power is confirmed to be off. If there was power, it would light up here and it would give us a series of beeps. So that means that this is safe to work on. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to remove the cover plate. Now, if you want one of those non-contact voltage meters, you can usually pick them up on Amazon. We'll include a couple links to those. There are some different options for that. So we just remove that screw in the middle, and then we're going to remove this cover plate to the existing outlet. Now, in order to replace the outlet, all we're going to do is take these two screws out that hold it onto the junction box. So go ahead and unwire those two screws. Now that we have the screws unscrewed from the junction box, we can pull the outlet forward and out here. And now we're ready to go ahead and take a look at the wiring and see what we've got here. So this existing outlet was wired where you've got two hot wires on the back here and two neutral wires on the back here, and it was back wired. So we can go back and just go ahead and back wire it just like we've got here. So it's a good idea to take a picture, and you can see on the back here we've got the same option to either back wire or put them in a wire loop or a wire hook right there around those screws. So you just want to maintain the existing wiring like you've got it, because what happens here is probably one of these hot wires has incoming current, and then this other wire may take that to another outlet somewhere on the same circuit. And that's probably the same for the neutral wires that are connected over there. Now you also have this unshielded copper wire, that's the ground wire, and we're going to attach it to the ground screw right here on the new outlet. So what we're going to do now is take a picture to make sure that we have the existing wiring, and then we're going to remove the wires from the back of the existing outlet. Now these wires are held in place by a tension clip on the back here, and it's hard to see, but it says to release, press into these little tabs here. So I have a screwdriver small enough that's going to fit in there. If you don't have one, you're going to need to get something that you can fit in that hole to press down on the tension clip. And when you press down, then you can pull up and you'll be able to release the wires. So let's go ahead. We're going to press down and then we can release that wire from the back here. So we have to do that for all four of these wires. Go ahead and press down on the tension clip, and then you can pull that wire out. Go ahead and press down on the tension clip for this, and then you can pull out. Go ahead and press down on the tension clip, and then you can pull it out of the existing outlet. So now we've got our neutral wires disconnected, we've got our hot wires disconnected. We just need to disconnect this ground wire on the ground screw over here. So go ahead and loosen that up, and then you can unwire the ground from the ground screw. So now we're ready to install the new outlet. And you could either wire it up with wire loops on the side here, or you could back wire the device right there, and you still need to connect that ground wire. So on this device, there actually is a strip gauge right here if you are going to back wire it. And currently these wires are a little bit too long if you were going to use that strip gauge and back wire the device. You can see the strip gauge ends right about there, and there's way more wire. It goes all the way down to here. So if you were going to back wire these, you would need to cut these down a little bit. Or if you don't want to cut down the wire, you can go ahead and make a wire loop and wrap it around the screws and then secure. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to back wire this. So we're going to trim down a little bit till we get to the right length for that wire gauge. And then we're just going to insert it into the back of the device. Now you can see on the back of this outlet, there is also some nomenclature here. It says hot wire over here. So that means that on this side, you're going to wire up the hot wires, which are our black wires. The white wires are the neutral wires, so those ones over here. And typically that's the case, that your black wire, or in this case it's a black or a grayish wire, is going to be your hot wire, and the white wire is going to be the neutral wire. Now, you want to make sure when you are taking the old outlet out that you have a good picture, because typically on the old outlet, it will also show you which wires were hot and which wires were neutral as a label on the back of it. So now let's go ahead, we're going to trim these down, and then we're going to insert them into the device. Now that we've got all the wires trimmed, we're ready to back wire the wires into the new outlet. So on this side with the gold terminal, that's where we're going to put the hot wires, because up here it said hot wire at the top, and on the other side we're going to put the neutral wires. So let's go ahead and do that. Insert the hot wire, and then we're just going to go ahead and secure this. Get it all the way in there and make sure we secure it nice and tight. Now we take the other hot wire and we're going to insert it into the back here, and then we are going to get that tightened up. Now we've got our two neutral wires to insert, so take the wire and we're going to insert it here on the back, get that wire pushed all the way in there, and then we're going to secure the terminal. Now we've got our last neutral wire, so go ahead and we're going to push that one all the way also into that terminal and get it secured, and then we just take our screwdriver and secure the screw, tighten it back down. Now all we have left is our ground screw, so we're going to take our ground wire and wrap it around the ground screw and then secure. Now we've got the wire on the ground screw, so let's go ahead and secure this. Now we've got the outlet wired up. We've got our neutral wires on there, our ground wire, we've got our hot wires on. And what I like to do is take a piece of electrical tape, and I like to cover up the terminals just as an added measure of precaution to make sure that it doesn't contact anything else in the junction box and prevent it from shorting out. So I just take a wrap or two of electrical tape and apply it around the outlet. Now that we've got the electrical tape around the outlet, we're ready to push the wires back into the junction box. You have to fold them back in there, and once you get this outlet close, you're going to align the screws and start screwing those screws for the outlet into the existing junction box. Now we've got our outlet secured into the wall, we're going to put our screwless cover plate on. I do think these are a nice touch. They look really clean once installed, especially when you compare it to what we had there before. So we're going to go ahead and install this. Usually there's a little tab or something that will pull these two pieces apart. So we're going to open that tab up, pull these apart, and then we're going to install it. So the screwless cover plate comes in two pieces. You put this bracket down here, it says top here, so make sure you've got the arrow going up, and then you're going to go ahead and secure this onto the outlet, and then we're going to secure the screwless cover plate on top of that. Now we've got our screwless cover plate. You can see there's a little notch in the bottom, so that end is going to go down, and all we do is go ahead and press that in place on the wall plate, and now we've got our new outlet installed. Make sure that you turn the power back on and test this out. And look how nice that looks. It looks like a whole new room, a whole new upgrade from what we had. So thank you for watching this video on how to replace an outlet. And what we installed here was a tamper resistant outlet. And what those are just a little bit safer for if you've got kids around. You know, it's harder to put something in there. They have a little spring-loaded piece of plastic back there. So a normal plug will go in just fine, but little things like fingers, or if you've got some kind of little screw or something like that, it's not going to go in there as easily as an old style outlet, and that is the intent of these, to prevent kids from sticking things in there. So thank you for watching this video on how to replace an outlet. Go ahead, give us that thumbs up, subscribe, or click any links below if you want to support us.